Welcome to Patty's Aquatics.
Welcome to Patty's Aquatics. My name is Adam and welcome to the fish room. So as you can see today, I want to do a little update on my 75-gallon Fahaka puffer tank. I want to kind of explain a little bit of what's been going on with this tank over the last probably year or so, the struggles I've been having with it, and really the direction I'm going to go with it in the future. Just looking at it, it looks okay, but I have been struggling with algae, cyanobacteria, and then this dusty detritus everywhere, and it's really getting frustrating. So really the deep dive in, if you're not familiar, this was a dirty tank at one point. I had my Fahaka puffer in it, still do. Did that for about, I don't know how long I had it in there, almost 2 years. And my plants just were not growing. Puff Daddy or Butthead, whatever I want to call him lately, is he was doing fine, but the plants weren't growing. And I think the problem of it was that I had my cap was way too thick. I think I put it like 3 or 4 inches over my dirt, just so he wouldn't dig down to the soil if he would choose to dig down. So I believe the plants just weren't, the roots of those plants just simply were not reaching the soil level and just was not really helping the plants, and they weren't growing, and I was having cyanobacteria and algae everywhere. I could throw some footage in here if I haven't already, and yeah, it was just frustrating. So I got sick of it, so I decided to rip the soil out, and I kept that same cap of the sand, and I threw that back in here, and with hopes that things would change and get better. As you can see, these crypts, nothing has grown. Nothing. This Amazon sword has grown a little bit. This one here has barely grown. My dwarf sage in the back does not want to grow. I put some of this Ludwigi in here just to see if I could help take down some of the nutrients that were in the water column. I was facing cyanobacteria again and that stringy, slimy algae all over everything. Now, I beat that. Now, what I did with that is basically I did like a month-long procedure, pretty much, you could say. I ripped as much out as I could, and then I did a blackout for almost an entire week, put a blanket over it, and then after I took that blanket out, I pretty much I treated it with slime out. It's a cyanobacteria medicine to try to get rid of it. And I never seen the cyanobacteria again after I did the blackout and then did an added measure of adding that meds to it. The slime algae was still there, that hair algae. From there, I added a wave maker in there to try to help with the flow, to get some more flow within here. Now, these Aquarium Co-op sponge filters, they're doing great and they're helping me with the filtration, because I didn't have filtration in here when it was a dirty tank, but I still felt like I needed more flow down in here, especially along the substrate, because that seemed to be the biggest spot where I was always getting that cyanobacteria, probably because of some dead spots and the waste that this guy produces when he eats. So that was the plan with that. And then I also started doing water changes once a week for the most part, not major ones, just ones that at least siphon up a little bit what he's been eating and some of that stuff. And the algae has gradually started to go away. Now, there's still a little bit in here. Don't get me wrong, that Anubias still gets it. I still get it back there on some of the plants. It's not terrible anymore. The algae, for the most part, is under control. I scraped the entire back wall down, did all that, and the sides for the most part. But this dusty detritus is still there. It looks gross. It looks dingy, but I could live with all that if the plants are actually growing. Now, why are the plants not growing? Well, my guess, truthfully, is the substrate. This is a beach sand. Now, I did add a little bit of pea gravel in here at one point. I had a pond lily in here that I stuck in here, and I put some gravel in and around it, because what this puffer does is he'll blow in the substrate looking for snails, and he was always blowing the sand away from the roots of the crypts of my plants in here. So I put the gravel in there in hopes that it would stop him from doing it. Well, over time, the sand pretty much overtook everything, and him blowing everything around, this is kind of what it looks like, and the plants are still not growing. So what I believe is happening is this sand is very fine and compact. It's really cutting any oxygen or flow off to the roots of these plants, and they're not growing. I'm even putting root tabs underneath these crypts, and they are doing nothing. Like, these crypts have been like this since I probably put them in probably like 10 months ago. They have not grown, not at all. They're stagnant. The sword, like I said, has grown a little bit. This one right here, I think I got one new leaf. It's still stagnant as well. Even the dark sage and back, like I said, that stuff usually grows like wildfire for me. It's really not running. I've got like one or two little runners that would shoot out, but nothing looks healthy. Nothing looks good. So what am I going to do? Am I just going to sit here and let this stagnant, ugly to me anyway, tank go? Or do I want to switch things up so that it looks nice and I'm happy with it? So that's what I'm going to do. First off, I think I need more filtration besides just the two sponge filters. I'm going to keep them in there, but I have an old Fluval 306 canister filter I used to have on this tank when it was a community tank, and when I first got this guy, well, I had broke a piece off of it and I really didn't think it was good anymore, but I did keep it. And while I was doing a little bit more investigation, I realized, well, hey, I can buy a replacement part. So I just ordered that, and so I should have that canister filter hopefully up and running within the next week. I haven't used it in almost 3 years, so I'm hoping the seals and everything else is still good on it, so time will tell with that, and I'll keep you updated. But beyond that, I've got to do something different. This substrate is just not cutting it. Now, I looked into different options. I looked into, what about gravel? What if I just took the sand out and put gravel in? Because, and quite honestly, I've been having a lot of luck with just gravel in my other aquariums compared to just sand. But there's two issues with that. One, with the puffer, he doesn't really bury himself, so I don't really have an issue with that. My worry is more that if he's going after snails or something, he might get a piece of the gravel and eat it on accident and potentially compact himself and have issues. So I don't want that to happen, although that could have already happened with a little bit of gravel I do have in here. My other option is really, I think I'm going to take a lot of this sand out. I mean, I could go bare bottom, which I don't like bare bottom tanks per se, because I really like the look of some type of substrate. I think I'm going to take some of this sand out and take those swords out, and I'll redistribute them, and I'll explain that. I'm going to have major changes going on in my fish room, and I'm going to explain all that, I believe, next week, what's going on. But I'm going to take those out. Anything that's rooted in here is going to be gone, and I think I'm going to turn this into a tank with lots of plants that don't need to be rooted, that all rely on water column, like Anubias, Java ferns, that type of stuff I'm going to put in here, I think. That way I can at least get plants growing. I don't got to worry about them not growing in the substrate and stop having this frustration that I'm having. So I think that's what I'm going to be doing here in the future. Things can change, but like I said, I'm going to update you guys all on this. I believe it's going to be next week's video. I'm going to have a full fish room tour, and I'm going to show you everything I'm doing, how everything's been going and stuff like that. But as far as the puffer himself, he's doing great. He doesn't care what type of substrate or what my plants are growing or if it has algae. He only cares that he's getting his food and his attention, because that's what he loves most. But for me, if I have this tank, I want it to look nice. I want my plants to be thriving and good. And what I've learned is that this sand was good when I used it in dirted tanks, because all it really did was compact the dirt and nutrients down. And the roots would go through the sand, typically in all the other tanks I had it in, and reach that soil layer, and they're fine. Where now I don't have that soil, and it's just the sand is compacting on those roots, and it's not doing my plants any favor, or the scaping or the look of my tank for that matter. So that being said, yeah, changes are coming. Beyond that, I just want to say thank you all. This has been a great year in the FishTube community. I appreciate all of you for all the views and comments and subscribers. You all mean a lot to me, and I appreciate it. And there will be keep coming more and more to go. I know I just love the hobby, and I love the interacting with you guys. I haven't really been doing my live stream anymore because it's been feeling kind of like work. Videos have always been my bread and butter. I love doing videos. I love watching videos. So that's kind of where I'm sticking it to, is just kind of try to put out one video a week, and um, keep updating you guys with what I'm doing and show some of the things that I'm looking into and things along that nature. So again, thank you all. I appreciate you all. Have a great holiday season and a great start to a new year. And then, like I said, I will see you again next week with a full fish room tour, and I will explain the mystery behind everything that I'm talking about big changes coming to my fish room. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And I hope to see you again next time here at Patty's Aquatics.
Thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time here at Patty's Aquatics.